It is Super Tuesday and some of the first votes are coming in. Polls in Virginia, Georgia, and Vermont closed less than an hour ago. Taking a look, and ABC is projecting in Virginia that we will have 62 delegates going to Hillary Clinton in Virginia. It is too close to call in the Republican race between Donald Trump and Marco Rubio. The other big state that we know of so far is Georgia. 116 delegates for Democrats, 76 for Republicans. Mrs. Clinton doing very well in the early numbers coming out, about 82% of the vote over rival Sanders. Trump with 54% of the vote, so Trump is leading in Georgia. And then in little Vermont, of course, Bernie Sanders country, so Bernie Sanders is expected to win there. In the Republican race in Vermont so far, Trump and Kasich, it's just too close to call. We're keeping an eye on all these states. Your voice, your vote coverage continues now with Karen Caifa with more on the states to watch.
Momentum is on the side of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Both their parties winners in 3 of the first 4 contests, both poised to pick up the bulk of today's delegates. Voting in Vermont, Bernie Sanders said no matter what happens tonight, his campaign will still be going tomorrow.
We're very proud of what we are doing. We're proud of what we're going to continue to do. This is a campaign that's going to the Philadelphia Convention in July.
Also in his home state today, Republican Ted Cruz. Texas is seen as a must-win for the senator who put southern states at the heart of his strategy, but stumbled in South Carolina.
I speak to unity for Republicans, that let's come together and stand together behind the conservative principles, the free market principles and constitutional liberties that we believe in.
Cruz entered Super Tuesday as the only Republican with a win over Donald Trump, beating him in Iowa. He's also looking to bat back Marco Rubio, who launched his strongest attacks yet on Trump at Thursday's debate and hasn't let up.
Today, the frontrunner, at least according to the national polls in the Republican primary, is someone who is preying on your anger, is someone who is preying on fear.
Trump is already looking beyond today's contests, campaigning in Ohio. Clinton, meanwhile, making stops in Minneapolis, wouldn't say outright she's planning to face him in the fall.
He could be on the path. Maybe somebody else can intervene and rise above that, but I'm going to wait and see who they nominate.
But tonight's results could move the race closer to that November matchup. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
And of course, the most critical state on this Super Tuesday will be Texas. 155 Republican delegates at stake there. Polls show that Senator Ted Cruz, who's from Texas, is leading. Donald Trump isn't far behind in the Lone Star State. And if you take a look at the map and just kind of cut the country in half, Bernie Sanders is looking well, or hoping to do well, in Minnesota and Vermont. Hillary Clinton hoping to do very well in these southern states, so we're going to have to find out what's going to go on there. We can also really easily point out that one of the key things is Georgia. Georgia's on the line, a big chunk of delegates there, 76 for Republicans, 102 for Democrats. Another key state will be Tennessee, as you can see right here, 58 Republican delegates, 76 for the Democrats. Some major states that are up for grabs on this Super Tuesday. Denise?
Thank you, Jim. President Obama wants to pick the nominee to fill the Supreme Court vacancy, but Republicans are insisting they will not start the confirmation process in the Senate. Today, Senator Charles Grassley from Iowa met with other top senators and President Obama at the White House. Grassley says the next nominee should be picked after there's a new president in office, but Democrats say the Senate should just do its job.
We have that nasty little Constitution that says that they are obligated to hold hearings, they're obligated to vote, that's what it says, and more importantly, when they swore their oath each time they become a senator again, or the first time, they swear to uphold the Constitution. They're not doing it, they're walking away from that.
The president says he wants to nominate someone before leaving office.
Sportscaster Erin Andrews says she now goes through everything in her room when staying in hotels while working on the road. Another day of emotional testimony for Andrews as part of her $75 million lawsuit against Michael Barrett and a Marriott hotel. Barrett altered a peephole in her room back in 2008, shot video of her nude, and then put the footage online.
I then go to my room alone. I will not allow anyone to bring bags up to my room at all. I will not allow them to put them in my room at all. I instantly cover the peephole, and then I do a check of the room. I look everywhere. I look for lights, I look for red lights, I look to see if there's cameras. I checked the bed, I checked the alarm clock, I checked the phone.
Under cross-examination, defense attorneys pressed Andrews on whether or not the video had negatively affected her career. She responded she's thrived even after the video hit the internet. The hotel says what happened is terrible, but they say the stalker is to blame.
The Ohio teen accused of shooting 4 students inside a school cafeteria appeared in juvenile court today. All the victims are expected to make a full recovery. Authorities have not given a motive for the shooting. The 14-year-old faces several charges, including attempted murder. He'll be held in a juvenile facility until his court date in April.
Today, the fight between the FBI and Apple moved to Capitol Hill. FBI Director James Comey testified before the House Judiciary Committee. He says it's up to Congress to decide whether Apple and other tech companies can keep law enforcement out of encrypted smartphones. Apple questioned whether the FBI should have the right to force tech companies to create special software to break into the phones. The FBI asked the company to break into an iPhone used by terrorists in the San Bernardino attack.
Law enforcement from across the country attended the funeral today of a Virginia police officer killed on her first day on the job. The funeral for Ashley Guindon featured full police honors. The 28-year-old was shot and killed over the weekend responding to a domestic violence call. 2 other officers who were shot are expected to survive. The accused shooter was arrested for the officer's death and the death of his wife found in the home. Coming up here at 6, facing down the storm.
How one woman stuck outside during a tornado was able to hang on and then walk away without a scratch.
And currently in the Quad Cities, we're seeing temperatures in the upper 20s. Still that brisk wind intact, but we'll expect those winds to ease up. Promising a pretty cold, clear night out there. And then another round of snow not too far away. We'll tell you what our chances will be looking like, how much we'll be expect to see right after the break here on News 8 at 6.